Dolphins in captivity can be trained to perform for people's entertainment. Their extraordinary ability to learn commands and their gentle natures make the dolphin an undoubted crowd pleaser. It's also a valued worker assisting divers underwater. Being the leading players in a marine spectacular is seen by many as being degrading to animals of such intelligence. Although captive dolphins exhibit much of the same behavior as their counterparts in the wild, they are trained to exaggerate their spectacular leaps. Out in the oceans, dolphins need no incentive to leap out of the water. It's difficult not to regard these jumps as joyful self-expression. Off the South Atlantic coast of Patagonia, the most common dolphin is the dusky. A school of them arrives here regularly to feed and socialize in waters teeming with fish. Dolphins are warm-blooded mammals with highly developed brains and advanced social behavior. Their skeleton and nervous system show that they once lived on land. Now, despite still needing to breathe air, they have achieved total mastery of the marine environment. Like whales, dolphins have evolved a streamlined shape. But unlike their larger relatives, they have developed speed and maneuverability instead of size. Dusky dolphins are among the smaller members of their family. They grow to about 3 meters long and weigh 90 kilograms as adults. The largest of the dolphin family is the killer whale. Killer whales weigh in at nearly 2 tons when fully grown, and they hunt in packs. Despite their name, they neither attack boats nor swimmers. Off the Patagonian coast, their common quarry is another type of marine mammal, the sea lions, which breed on the beaches. By abandoning the water to produce their young on land, the sea lions appear to be safe. But the killer whale is a resourceful predator. The whales come close to the beach where the bull sea lions are surrounded by females. They watch from the surf for any sea lion which strays too close to the water's edge. The dominant bulls keep as many females as they can defend crowded together at the bottom of the beach. Here, the bulls can guard their harems from rival males. In every sea lion colony, there are always individuals who will take to the surf regardless of the waiting predators. When a killer whale and a couple of sea lion bulls come face to face, the odds are stacked against the sea lions. Killer whales have been seen actually beaching themselves in order to catch a sea lion. In the flurry of whales and white water, a young sea lion has been taken. These secluded shores are used by other sea-going mammals too. A colony of elephant seals are breeding further up the coast on the steep pebble beaches of Punta Norte. And just offshore, a southern right whale passes by. Like the whales, elephant seals have been over-hunted because of their commercial value as a source of oil. They were practically wiped out. It's only in really remote places like this that the species has had time and the opportunity to rebuild its numbers. Punta Norte is now an official sanctuary protected by Argentine law. As the elephant seals doze, the right whale thrashes about in the water. Perhaps this is to drive away the newly arrived killer whales. Killer whales seldom kill and eat right whales. Sea lions are much more manageable prey. The sea lions are fat at this time of the year in preparation for the breeding season. While the females wait to give birth to this season's pups, the bulls fight for the right to sire next season's offspring. A master bull must continually defend his harem of females against intruders, while some of the females are actually giving birth. Sea lions are ocean-going mammals too, but they're not as completely marine as whales and dolphins. They have to come ashore to give birth. This baby sea lion emerges tail first into the crowded and noisy colony. Shortly after its birth, the infant sea lion becomes the object of a maternal dispute. Crowded so close together, confusion like this is common. As the population grows hourly, the cries of the newborn young mix with the territorial roars of the bulls. The sea lions must eventually return to the sea, where the killer whales will be waiting. Even though its visibility is reduced by the pounding surf, the killer whale is undeterred. It makes its move. Spectacular attacks like this don't often fail. Sea lions and seals are relatively easy to study on the shore, but finding out about the behavior of wild dolphins in the open ocean has been more difficult. Bernd and Mel Wursig are zoologists who are one of the first teams to track dolphins by radio. But first, they had to catch one.
They're doing double, there's just a thing of beautiful double beaches.
Bernd Wursig's dolphin catcher is simple in principle. It's a spring-loaded grab with a trigger between the rubber-covered prongs. All he has to do is to place it firmly on a dolphin's tail, while his wife Mel drives the boat. It's easy to get close to a school of dolphins in a boat. They love to swim alongside, cruising in the bow wave. But although they're easy to approach, catching them is another matter. The head of the grab is designed to come off if a dolphin is caught. Now it can be hauled in on a strong line. The grab doesn't harm the dolphin. It fits round its tail well enough to lift its 90 kilograms into the boat. Mel waters the dolphin to keep it cool, while Bernd measures its length and determines its sex.
What do you have for these photos?
It's a fully grown female, a member of a school that's been in this area for some weeks. To keep track of the school, Bernd attaches a radio transmitter to the dolphin with a bolt through the fleshy part of its dorsal fin. The operation causes the dolphin no harm. In Bernd's previous work, he identified dolphins from action photographs using the individual patterns and shapes of the dorsal fin. This one now has its own call sign. The radio will work for 30 days before the battery runs out. Then the bolt will corrode away and the radio will drop off. The capture has been watched from the shore by Peter Tyak, the Wersig's assistant. He notes the position of the boat as the walkie-talkie announces that the dolphin has been released again.
Cam, boat. Thanks a lot. Standing by.
The radio sends out a bleep every time the dolphin surfaces, and a direction finder automatically notes its bearing. All the information is recorded on tape for analysis later. Bernd and Mel can return to base to watch the dolphins electronically. But on the way, they take more photographs in the hope of identifying previously recorded dolphins from the pictures. Back at their base, they sort through some of the earlier photographs to see if they can recognize any of the dolphins they had seen today. After long experience, they can identify some individuals by their peculiarities of fin shape or coloring.
Yeah, you tell me when it's
There it is again.
Now, is that a breach from this group?
No, it isn't. No, it's just...
Berndt research also found that the many different patterns of the dolphin's famous leap can help to explain specific group behavior. The recording and analysis of the radio signals is painstaking work. For the first 24 hours, they're monitored continuously. Then, readings are taken for half an hour every 4 hours. It's enough to determine the course of the dolphin's movements. A school of dolphins sticks close together, so the movements of one member faithfully reflect the movements of them all. The direction finder at base is linked by radio to another some distance away. And by cross-referencing the two, Bernd is able to plot exactly where the transmitter-carrying dolphin and its school are. The dolphins may be up to 12 kilometers away across the bay, but Bernd can locate them exactly. The direction finder in front of him gives one bearing on the radio signal, and the other, 8 kilometers away on the cliffs, gives a different bearing on the same signal. Where the two bearing lines cross is where the dolphins are. A series of points on the map trace the dolphins' course as they go about their daily lives. The information accumulates fast. Gradually, the data will yield important information on this particular school's activities. The radio dolphin informs Bernd of the school's whereabouts. Using a portable set in the boat and guided by his assistant with a walkie-talkie on the shore, he can find the dolphins quite easily. The dolphins move around the bay, but not at random. By keeping the bleeps in line ahead of the boat, Bernd and Mel have been able to follow one particular group all day to watch their activities. They find that smaller groups within the school stick together. Perhaps they're specific families. Bernd and Mel might cover 130 kilometers in a day following the dolphins. Although the dolphins range all round the bay, Bernd found that there are some parts which they choose above others, including a particular strip down the centre. Bernd's next task will be to find out why. First, he needs to find out much more about the school's daily movements. His other interest is in their acrobatics. With their streamlined shape, dolphins are perfectly capable of re-entering the water with hardly a ripple, as they do at dolphinariums. Their deliberate splashing must have a purpose. With fish as an incentive, dolphins can be trained to perform high jumps, but this isn't natural behavior. Tricks like jumping over a rope are merely stunts to entertain. In the oceans, their jumps have a far more important purpose. In the wild, dolphins leap to communicate with each other and synchronize the movement and behavior of the school. Although Bernd is sometimes tempted to think that these beautiful, powerful acrobats are simply jumping for joy.